Hi user, this is John Shabong, State MIS of Samagra Shiksha, Meghalaya. Today I'm going to show you a short demonstration on how to start a student tracking system through UDISE for the academic session 23-24. But before we start, let me just highlight what we have done during the previous year. Student-wise data collection was launched in the year 22-23 by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, and is being implemented in all over the states and UT in the country. Here, specific data capture format for collecting the student-wise details such as the profile of the student, the grade details, schooling status, facility received by the student, participants of student in schools activities, scholarship, and vocational education was captured during this session. Now, all those student data that we have captured during the academic session 22-23 has to be populated to the current academic year 23-24 so as to complete the first year tracking of each individual student and data entry for the current year. To do this, schools have to log in to the SDMS portal using their login credential. And if the schools does have the credential, then they can get it from the block mission coordinator or the district mission coordinator Samagra Shiksha office. After logging in the home page, two academic year will be displayed. One is for academic year 22-23 and the other is for academic year 23-24. In the academic year 22-23, all the student data that we have collected and entered during the academic session 22-23 will be displayed. Information such as the school's profile of the schools, the detail of the school such as school's name, school category, class from, pre-primary, academic section, academic stream, then section management, how many section has been initialized in each classes that is available in the schools, then the list of all students that we have already captured and entered. Now coming back to the dashboard. In the academic year 23-24, here we have to complete the student progression activity by using the student progression module. Progression basically means movement of students, that is forward movement or onward movement of the students. But before we start the student progression activity, several parameters need to be checked, like schools category, classes, low class, high class, school type of the schools, management of the schools, medium of instruction, academic start date and academic end date, and pre-primary classes available in the schools. So if this all this category uh, required to be updated, suppose you need to update in the pre-primary classes or pre-primary section, then you need to add one more section. Or if there is any change in the category of the schools, management type of schools, then you can go to the schools directory management and you can update it from the schools directory module. If there is no changes, then you can skip this. Then coming to the school profile again, this school profile of the schools will be highlighted. If there is any detail that need to be updated, changed, you can go to the school directory module and make a necessary change from there. Then you'll have a list of students. There will be no student because you have not started the student progression activity. Then the section management. Again, section management, you can view each and every section of each and every classes available in the schools. If there is any changes that you need, such as you need to edit the section name, alias name, or you can delete one section or you can add another section, then you can do it from this module. Now the important part is the student progression, or what we call as a progression module. To start with it, you have to select each and every class and section in order to complete the promotion activity. I'll I'll just show you an example. I'll be taking the initial class, that is nursery. Then I'll take one section A. List of students will be displayed of nursery classes that is available in these schools. National code ID. If you see, there is the first part is a national code ID. This is an 11-digit random code which is being assigned to all the student. This code is unique. Is unique ID of the student that will be used in this as SDMS. Now, based from the previous year, academic progression of the student will be mapped with either either of these following: promoted, not pass, promoted without examination, discontinue before examination, or repeater by choice. So let me go with this detail one by one. For this particular student, the progression status for the 22-23 is if the student is promoted. Here, promoted, for the progression status promoted, you can specify this option only if the student have passed the promotion examination and promoted to next class. Once you click promoted, automatically the next preceding class will be updated. Then you have to specify the percentage of mark, that will be in number, and the number of days the student attended the schools during 22-23. And under schooling status, you can either specify studying in the same schools or left the schools with TC or without TC. If the student are studying in the same schools, then you can specify the section and click update. Now, but one more thing, if this I'll just share to you is that if the student is promoted but the schooling status is shown as left the school with TC, if the student has left the schools and joined the schools of another, then section class will be disabled. Then you can click update. This left, once the schooling status of the student has been marked as left the school with TC, then automatically this particular student will be moved to Dropbox. This concept of Dropbox I'll be shared to you in a while. Now, the next progression activity is not pass. You can specify this option only if the student has failed in the promotion examination. Then you need to provide the percentage of mark. Then you need to provide the number of days the student attended the school during 22-23 sessions. And under schooling status, same, either the student is still studying in the same schools or have left the schools with TC or without TC. If he's studying in the same schools, then give the section and click update. Now, the third progression activity is promoted without examination. You can specify this option to the student only if the student have promoted to next classes without taking any promotion examination. In this case, automatically the next preceding class will be assigned to the student. Then you have to specify the total number of days the student attended the schools, and the percentage of mark will be disabled since the student have not given any examination. The fourth progression activity is discontinue before examination. You can specify this option only if the student have left the schools without giving the promotion examination or before the promotion examination. For that, you need not specify the percentage of mark, but you have to specify the number of days the student attended the schools, and you have to specify the schooling status. Schooling status option will be only left the schools with TC and without TC. So you can click update. Now, the last progression activity is repeater by choice. For this, you can specify this option only if the student parents have decided that their children need to be repeated in the same classes the same year. It might be because of several other reasons like improper attendance or one to improve the percentage mark or not understanding the old syllabus due to prolonged absence, sickness or any other reason. Here you have to specify the percentage of mark during the last promotion examination, then the total number of days the student attended the schools during 22-23, and under schooling status you have to specify either the student is studying in the same schools or left the schools with or without TC. So these are the 5 progression activity that you need to tag or need to assign to each and every students that are available in the schools. So in order to complete the student promotion activity. Now let me just share you one thing. Now the low class of this particular schools is nursery and the highest class is 12. In class 12 there will be limited option since class 12 is the exit class and nursery is the entrance class. In the exit class, any information that has been promoted or not promoted, then promoted without examination, then discontinue and repeater, and these 3 options automatically the student will be moved to the Dropbox, because in the exit class any student who are proceeding to the next level class will be moved to the Dropbox, because there is no other preceding class of this particular schools. So the exit class is 12. So automatically this student will be moved to the Dropbox. The same will be to do schools where they have only lower primary, that is from classes uh, pre-primary to classes 5. So their low class entry class is pre-primary and the exit class is class 5. And all the students of class 5 who have promoted to the next class or next level will be automatically moved to the Dropbox, because the exit class of the schools is class 5 only. So like that, for all the exit class of all the schools, automatically student will be moved to the Dropbox. Or otherwise if the student is this or otherwise if the student is either not pass or repeater, because not pass maybe the student is still studying in the same schools, or if this suppose in this exit class if the student repeat, then again is studying in the same schools. Otherwise promoted without examinations and discontinue schooling status option will be only left the schools with TC and without TC. So all these promotion activity need to be updated or tagged to each and every students. And if you have completed assigning the progression status to all the students, then you can click the finalize button. By clicking the finalize button, you will be able to view the summary status of how many students you have promoted, how many students who have not passed, how many students who have promoted without examination, and how many students who have left the schools before examination, and how many students who have repeated. So this will be the summary data for the number of students that you have assigned a progression activity. If the data is correct, if the data is fine, you can move ahead and click confirm. Once once you click the confirm button, then the correction button will be enabled for you. Then the correction button will be this button will help in correcting the progression activities such as like the percentage of mark, number of days last attended, then the progression status, any update that you have made before the progression activity of the student, you can make changes from the correction button. Now the next step is to view the summary of the promotion activity. You can view the summary of all those students that you have made or you have done the progression activity, and you can check with the number of student enrolled then completed. if you have completed for all students, then the same number of completed will be reflected. Or if there is still one or two students pending, then number of students will be reflected in the pending field. Then you can make go to the progression activity, then make it correction again. Once this everything has been finalized, you can you can finalize the progression module using the finalize progression. Now I you have to make sure here that once you have submit this progression module, the progression activity for all those students will be deactivated from your schools. You can no longer do the progression activity. You can no longer edit it, you can no longer change, you can no longer manipulate. So this will be locked, this will be deactivated. So you need to go and revisit, recheck each and every student's progression activity. Once you have certified, then you can submit. Once you submit, then the progression activity or the promotion activity for the current year 22-23 for all the students of all the classes section in the school is completed. Now the next module is very important, that is the import module. But before we go with import module, let us check the another module, that is a Dropbox Dropbox or an inactive list student list. Like earlier I have already inform you that students who have either selected the who have either taken the TC or move out of schools with TCs or without TCs, then automatically those students will be shifted to Dropbox. So all those students that has been assigned or have been moved out of the schools with TC or with TC without TC will be stored in this Dropbox student list. Now the concept of this Dropbox module is that it is a virtual box where it stores all students' data where the promotion activity has been selected as left the schools with transfer certificate or without transfer certificate. The purpose of this Dropbox is to ease the search of students who have left the schools and joined another schools. Those students who have joined new schools have to be fetched from Dropbox. In order to update the current schools, teacher can search the detail of the schools of any schools from any block district within the state who have newly admitted to their schools and get the student detail from the Dropbox. So once you search each and every individual schools, then you will be able to get the detail of the student who have moved to Dropbox. So from here you can get the facilities of picking up those students who have joined to this current schools. Now after getting the detail of the student from the Dropbox, then how you have to import those students to your schools. Once you know that this is the particular students that you need that has admitted to this current schools and need to be imported to these schools, then you have to copy the national code ID from the Dropbox list, then you can paste it here. Once you paste it here, then you can copy and assign the date of birth, then you can go, you can just click search. Once you got the detail of the student, easily you can import those students to your schools. Or otherwise from other district or other state, if you don't have the national code, you can easily search by Aadhaar. If you have the Aadhaar number of the student, you can search the Aadhaar number, you can specify the Aadhaar number, year of birth, and you just click search. Once you got the student detail based on the Aadhaar number and the national ID code, you can import those students to your schools. So we have come to the end of this promotion activity of the students for the academic 23-24. Now you can start the data entry of the student using the data entry dashboard. Here in the entry level classes from nursery to class 1, add new student button will be enabled for the schools. In order to add new students which are coming or admitted to these new schools, or otherwise if they have already joined or coming from other schools, then easily they can be searched or pulled from the Dropbox list. So until until here, this is the complete process of student promotion activity for the year 22-23. So thank you. Until next training video, Kublai Shibon Mitela.